Sup all, it's Dogman. I have a few questions for you. If you had a flat tire, could you change it safely? Do you know what your dashboard warning lights mean? How about, could you assemble an old piece of shit car from scratch, painstakingly installing each individual part, using exclusively used components, while barely making enough money to survive during the coldest winter in Finnish history, only for it to drive 3 feet in front of your house and immediately catch fire? If you answered yes, my winter car is the game for you. The game takes place 4 years after my summer car. Oh, hey. But this time, it's a little chilly. Your only objective is to acquire the shell of a 1970s Chorus Revette.
You know what? This is the car we deserve.
And build it from the ground up, all while dealing with mortality in the form of survival mechanics. At the moment, the game is incredibly glitchy. But once you get past the early access jank, you'll soon come to realize that maybe, just maybe, those woke leftist Europeans aren't that bad. Nah, just kidding. What the fuck is a Colossus? Good morning, everyone. Let's cover the top left. The first thing you'll notice is the problem meter, which in actuality just tells you how dehydrated you are. But it currently says problem, because we have a bit of a problem. Sadly, the only support group you have to fix said problem is a Russian guide. However, I ignored that, and somehow accidentally cured myself of my alcoholism by drinking 5 beers a day instead of 6. Basically, alcoholism isn't a problem until it is. Hunger is a fairly straightforward stat. Eat food, hunger goes down. Thirst goes up. Stress goes up due to a multitude of factors. And just like real life, it climbs up slowly, inevitably forcing you to deal with it. The urine meter goes hand in hand with your problem meter. To relieve the urine meter, just press P. If you don't, that shit will fill up and you'll die of a bladder implosion. Fatigue is a stat that is solved by sleeping. Stay awake for too long and you'll potentially black out. No. Oh my god, Jesus Christ. Body temperature is simple. When the bar is low, you're cold. When the bar is high, you're warm, and the bar is red. When you're cold, you can't sleep. So you'll need to turn on your shitty radiators to at least 20 degrees Celsius and wait for them to heat up your house if they've been off for too long. If you are playing the game on low quality, don't. Because the game won't render the numbers on the radiator. Sweating isn't a stat you have to worry about, because most of the time, you're gonna be too cold to sweat anyways. The same goes for your car. Just like Babushka during winter. She will not move if it's too cold, and the only way she'll move is by temporarily choking her. This promotes airflow deprivation, resulting in an eventual response. With the car started, the world is your oyster, but only if you leave your driveway, which is more lubricated than fucking Epstein slip and slide. And we're off the road again. So stay safe and buckle up, because our first stop is the gas station. Here, we'll find 2 numbers to call, one for the purchase of the Revette and the other for an advert delivery job, in which I called the Revette owner first, which led to a lengthy, one-sided conversation in Finnish. Even though we can now purchase the car, we can't afford it due to our weekly bills and miscalculated expenses. So every Tuesday and Friday, we'll drop off ads in the mailboxes nearby, which shouldn't be too hard. Advert delivery money only comes in every Friday. So a good alternative way to make money is through selling kilya to our neighbor. Simply put, it's extremely basic homemade wine. Water, sugar, and yeast make for a disgustingly bland alcohol. But our neighbor has no taste, and apparently neither do I. In game, however, Yoko did not like my first or second batch, all because of the order I put the water in. So, desperate for any kind of income, I took up a job as a septic tank truck driver. But en route to our first job, I crashed into a ditch and flipped the truck. So, I guess this job's on pause. Another option is taxi driving. Which is incredibly stressful. The original driver had a heart attack, which is fair, considering this shit gets no traction, has 0 reliability, and requires 2 sandbags in the trunk to be somewhat drivable. Even then, driving my first passenger to his destination resulted in the car getting stuck in a ditch. I'm never taxi driving again. Fortunately, I've scrounged up enough money for this. For the low cost of 500 marks, I bought a 1973 Chorus Revette. It's got everything from a brake master cylinder, an engine block, and it's even colored piss yellow. This thing's basically ready to rally. Unfortunately, we're still missing a few parts, short of passing even a basic road inspection, which means it's time to spend more money on parts I don't understand, but that's gonna take time and patience. patience that I'm running thin on because of something that happened recently. To start off, I died near my house while chopping firewood, leaving me stranded by the church. So naturally, I waited for the bus, took it to the closest stop, walked all the way home with a case of beer, went to sleep, paid the extremely high electricity bill, and decided to drive to pick up more beer. Unfortunately, my car's heaters were set up to only heat the outside of the car. So, for the second time, I hopped on the bus, mistakenly got off on an early stop, noticed an NPC strolling through the woods, decided it would be funny to punch him in the face, knocking him unconscious. I assumed nothing would happen, so I spent the next 30 minutes walking home. Had to wait another 30 minutes for the radiators to heat up, so I decided to save, loaded back in, and heard a knock at the front door.
Hyvää päivää. Lain pitkä koura on sinukki tavoittanut viimein.
Turns out I was sentenced for 2 days in jail, and since 2 in-game days is basically 4 real-life hours, I was pretty bored. After a while, I was released. Eventually, made my way home and checked the mailbox. I'm gonna fucking kill myself. This was rock bottom, but through enough hours of tedious grind, we managed to make the house look like a scrapyard, which tanked my FPS, but allowed me to build the engine, drop it into the car, carefully fix up the body, bolt and wire everything, add in every single fluid, and now we're finally ready to drive. Mind you, this is chopped up footage over the weeks of my playthrough, in which all footage was recorded live on Twitch. So if you haven't had enough suffering from this video, you can watch back the full playthrough live. But now that Piss Baby's ready, I figured why not now, as a time to try out the car. Oh fuck, that's not good. Ultimately, this is a small setback, because after 100 hours of my winter garage, I decided now it was time to enter a rally. In short, Perayarvi hosts rally racing every weekend. This weekend, I'm putting Piss Baby into the Junior Sprint Rally. For the car to be race ready, it needs to pass inspection, contain race augments, and show up on time for 3 stages across 2 days. The first race starts Saturday with SS1, and is a 7.9 kilometer race to the backwoods, which leads to SS2 and is a short lap around the ski hill. Then you wait till Sunday, in which SS3 is the longest race at about 8.5 kilometers, going the opposite direction of SS1. If you do that in solid time, you can win the Junior Rally. But getting even a solid time proved to be a bit of a challenge, as early in the morning I drove to my starting position. Shifting gears just didn't fucking happen. As anyone else would do in my position, I decided to race anyways. After showing up slightly late, I took off. As it turns out, my gearbox was going bad, and my clutch disc was basically dust. Not only that, but the locals didn't seem to get the memo that there was a fucking race today. And worst of all, even though I finished SS1, I had to limp to SS2, barely making it on time. I attempted to climb the ski hill, which the result was an eventual full loss of power and subsequent disqualification from the race, forcing me to walk to PSK, get my tractor, and tow the car home in shame. Overall, this was a catastrophically bad race. But after a few fixes and a total makeover, Piss Baby was ready for the Icetrack rally, which started on Friday, and eventually the car got there in pristine shape. Oh my fucking god. Moving past that, Friday was meant for practice laps to get in a solid time. After a few laps, I looked at my fastest time, which wasn't the best. Surely, this wouldn't matter. After a good night's rest by the track, I could wake up and easily beat the favorite to win with some top-tier driving. Not like this! Come on! Oh my fucking god! With the resulting spin out, I lost yet again. But that's alright, because not only did I lose in 2 races, but I lost countless hours working a boring day job, dying in incredibly dumb ways, and living in the cold, brutal wasteland of Finland. Thank you to the Goon Fleet on Patreon for supporting my channel. And if you enjoyed, please like the video and subscribe. Maybe leave a comment. But that's enough for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.